Hi Capricorn, here is a general look at your solar chart for October 2012, and of course the big news this month is the move of Saturn, your ruling planet. Whenever Saturn changes sign and house, which is once every 2.5 years, it affects natives of your sign, but particularly this time because on October the 6th Saturn moves out of the hard angle it has been making to your sign since late 2009, which is to do with your general direction in life and your career, and it moves into the softer, more opportunistic angle from Scorpio, where it will stay until, well, it moves out of there in 2015. So this is a positive move as far as natives of your sign are concerned, and this move will then dissolve the limitations that you've felt in the area of career and life direction. So that sounds like good news to me. Now Saturn's limitations will be felt through friendships and the social circle. But really, as with all the slow moving out of planets, it's only when the transiting degree connects with a degree in your natal chart that you feel it the most. So it's not going to be dominating all the time. And anyway, it is coming into this more softer angle. You may be thinking very differently now about how to achieve goals which have been on the back burner of your life perhaps for a very long time, Capricorn. And Saturn is likely to keep something that you are longing to achieve just a little bit out of reach. So this is how she tests and teaches us. She makes it just a bit harder for us to get something together, or in this house of your solar chart, you know, something that you've been wanting to get your hands on or to experience or to do for a very long time, and she just makes it that little bit harder. Saturn rules time, you see, so wherever Saturn sits in the zodiac, we will need time to develop, to build, to structure, to learn, and to achieve. And so that's what that's about. And boy, do we learn a lot in the process. But so you've got to be more patient wherever Saturn is, more persevering. But like I said earlier, Saturn sitting in Scorpio now is going to be a really positive angle to your sun sign. And whereas before it had slowed things down a huge amount because of the angle, it's all in the angle, you know. Now it's going to, you're just going to be able to achieve things just that little bit more quickly, just that little bit more smoothly. So that's a relief. Saturn loves structures. So this is a period when you could be gradually cultivating and laying down a foundation with new people in your life, or a structure, cultivating people, or constructing new foundations related to teamwork, that kind of thing, a group, some sort of group work. The ultimate outcome at the end of this transit will be that you're playing a very different role in the eyes of others, or it's a very different set of others that you're hanging out with. So it might not be, you know, seen from a working angle. It might simply be a social circle, or maybe a different neighborhood, a different community, which could be like a neighborhood community or an over-the-wires type community, that kind of thing. Now, for this month, in October, you'll probably be more conscious of your overall direction, you know, and just more aware and how that's being affected by what's going on now, by circumstances, by the actions that you're taking right now, and just what's unfolding right now. But for some reason, you may be more aware also of your reputation or your outward image, how well you package something or yourself, and how you project yourself this month, or that's up until the 23rd. So you'll be keener to make the right impression in certain circles and come across well in the eyes of others, and you may feel a bit scrutinized at times. It might mean for some of you, you're dealing more with bureaucracy, officialdom. You could get frustrated at times because of the restrictions imposed by rules or red tape. Well, who doesn't? and some of you will have more contacts with parents, guardians, bosses, employers, actual ones or potential ones, and it's just to do with your image. It might not work like that at all for you. It might mean that you yourself have got to take a firmer hand. You yourself have got to show authority more. You yourself have got to be more crystal clear about which direction things should go in, because others are relying on you, and they kind of put you in the driving seat in a way. So it can work in various ways, but that's the gist of it. And also Mercury is in the same house of your solar chart. That's only until the 5th, but it just means that discussions, correspondence, paperwork, ideas could be centered around all of that stuff, where you're going from here, weighing things up, or career, life direction, a new enterprise. It can be like that. Or those who may act as an agent for your aims, or facilitate your aims, or obstruct your aims. All of that could be highlighted. So you'd be putting more mental effort into that, all of that area there. And also, strangely, vehicles or travel and transport could be highlighted too. And then from the 5th, Mercury moves, and that puts the mental focus upon furthering your aims, whatever those aims are. Something that's been on the back burner, something that's been sort of hanging fire, and that can, because this is a very progressive area, an innovative area, where the unusual, that sort of light bulb switches on over the head, that can happen. And you just kind of get that aha sort of moment. There could be more group involvement, you hanging out with a group of others for the whatevers, and more connecting with people over the wires as well. And so it won't be so much what you know as who you know, what you can do with who you know, or through who you know. And some experiences, could be rather unusual or unconventional or inspiring. Some little nuggets and morsels of information could be sort of like have you raising your eyebrows, going, oh well, I didn't know that, or wow, that's great. Okay, from the 3rd, Venus, rather until the 3rd, Venus's position may have manifested. Go listen to this in September. So Venus's position, I'm going to mention, even though she moves out of there on the 3rd of October, Venus's position when you're listening to this is probably an influence which is going to be helping you out materially in major or minor ways. And for others of you, that means that your feelings are touched, and you'd be touched by someone, or you are feeling that there's a lot more riding on a relationship, and you're just a little bit more involved there. And then Venus moves on the 3rd, and thereafter faces or places at a distance, may have more appeal. Travel may have more appeal, or maybe there's a bond that you have with somebody who is at a distance, and there's kind of conversations going on through the wires, or maybe you're traveling there, or maybe they're traveling to you, or whatever it is. But definitely a foreign connection or a connection with somebody at a distance is likely to be to do with a bond that you have with someone, or it can be centered around an academic or advice-giving environment as well. Someone you connect with may be an expert in their field, or maybe somebody you know is becoming very savvy and knowledgeable about stuff wherever they are, and they're telling you about it. But equally, you yourself may be looked upon as the bringer of news, or the giver of information, or the spreading, disseminating of information, whether that's just in a small personal domestic way or in a big stage way. It's up to you and where you are in your life. Publications come in here, but also the law, and you may be looking into the legal side of things. That can also be the way this works sometimes. Education as well is highlighted here, and maybe you are you're signing up for something that you learning a lot from, or somebody you know is learning a lot. So there's a very strong communications field here with Venus. And you and someone may team up and launch into a new enterprise as well. Until next June, Jupiter will continue to bring new opportunities into your area of employment, Capricorn, but also it's to do not only with the job out there where we earn money, but also, you know, your daily tasks at home and your routines at home, and it can for some of you be about health as well. And Jupiter is generally a beneficial energy, so you can make great strides there. Until the 7th of October, Mars is emphasizing the group dynamic and activities with colleagues, friends, acquaintances, or some kind of collective, some kind of group of people, whether that's a family or a bigger group, or whether it's sort of yo-yos back and forth between different size groups. But definitely anything like this is likely to be that's where you use most of your energies. That's where you have to be the most decisive. It's actually in a very progressive area. Again, if you're listening in September, Mars is in this progressive area up until the 7th of October, and it's going to help you to initiate changes, maybe changes that have been on the back burner you wanted to make. So it's going to help you initiate changes and further something that you wanted to, you know, and it's like, okay, now is my moment, I can do this. Physical energy could go into building new contacts or hanging out with people and doing like real activity. Mars is about physical action, so doing physical activities with people, maybe learning things together as you go along. Also information technology, networking, using the net, and discussion forums, all that kind of thing, as well as putting perhaps your energies into some sort of collaborating with others. But the thing is, you could feel quite overloaded and even overwhelmed at times with all the stuff you've got to do on behalf of others, so just be careful about that. Mars might have you spreading yourself too thin, but Mars does like to initiate, does like to be in the forefront. Mars rules the head, you know, so wherever Mars goes, you like to have your head, you like to be in the lead. So you might find yourself volunteered into a role which is more out front, or more needing you to be the decision maker or the motivator or motivated than you realized, than you signed up for. So anyway, that's the kind of feel of Mars there. And then from the 7th, though, Mars then enters a very different area, a quiet backwater area, where it's a sort of an incubating area, and that's going to be for about 6 weeks from the 7th. So this is a time where the suggestion here is that you could be doing a lot behind the scenes, because Mars does like to be active, but not so much, you know, extrovertly out there. Really getting on with things in your own little cubicle, your own little bubble. Being there as a support for others, being there as the helping hand when there is the need, but being careful because others might be leaning on you a little bit more with Mars there, especially when the transiting degree connects with an important point in your natal chart. You feel it more then, and you just feel as though you want to keep yourself to yourself, you want to look after yourself, you want to keep your shields up, you know, a little bit more maybe, and you want to go in for restful, nurturing pursuits whenever you can, and just let it all go and let others do it whenever you can. But so this is about nurture this area, but it's also about pulling all the strands together, you know, behind the scenes, and getting it all, putting yourself out really an awful lot more to get it all as you want it to be, and not getting any prizes or acclaim or recognition or reward for it, because this is an area of non-ego. This is a karmic area actually. So that's the sort of feel of that there. But this transit does encourage introspection. You can get a huge amount done behind the scenes if that's what you want to do, but it does encourage your sort of inward pondering, connecting with your subconscious, connecting with your emotions more as well. So you might be feeling a bit touchier, a bit more defensive with Mars there. So just watch that, and it will trigger your imagination and your ability to manifest what you want. That can also be stimulated if you know how to work with that. and there you can be engineering a future more how you'd like it to be, shaping how you like them to be, but from pulling strings behind the scenes, from this side, sort of behind the curtain. You're not out on the front of the stage. You shouldn't be at this time with Mars there. So it's a kind of an incubation time, and you need to be more protective of yourself, but pay attention to your dreams and your visions at this time, because they can be really helpful. And also some of you might like to be getting on with practices like yoga, meditation, and anything to do with healing as well, whether that's for somebody else or whether that's for yourself. And then from the 23rd you enter a more progressive phase, teamwork that I was mentioning earlier. That's where Mercury went on the 5th, and networking or group gatherings could be more highlighted. But it's definitely a time when you could thinking more towards the future and getting the ball rolling, and maybe beginning to get the ball rolling a little bit more there, but in a quieter sort of a way, not putting yourself, not burning the candle at both ends, because Mars, in the area that Mars is going to be in from the 7th, means that it's going to just lower your vitality a little bit. And that's it for October. If you are not on my website already, go there if you're interested and read what the outer slower moving planets are doing. They don't change very much every month, so if you've read it already, don't bother, but at least you'll see where the degrees are of those planets every month, if you want to know that. And also listen to the forecast for your rising sign or your moon sign, although when I give the dates it really is only applicable to the sun sign forecast, not dates for the rising sign or the moon sign. And if you can make head or tail of that, I hope you can, and hope it helps. And I'll see you